This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Guten Morgen, guten Tag und guten Abend alle. Good morning, good evening, and good day to everyone and all to our viewers and listeners, and welcome back to Central Europe Connections. We are so happy to have you all with us tonight, and early morning for you all those watching and tuning in from the Philippines. Right now it is for us 7:02 p.m. and for all you early birds it is 2:02 a.m. in the Philippines. So thank you so much for tuning in. We are so excited to have you. But of course I am not alone. I have my beautiful co-host who's an hour away from Heidelberg, and I am so happy to have her with me. My co-host, where are you?
Hi everyone, I'm Chanel Manalili, all the way from Frankfurt, and once again, I'm so happy to be joining this show with my other beautiful co-host, Alicia. How are you doing out there, Alicia?
I am doing very well, Chanel. It is, though, a little bit very cold. It is, for me here, it is -6 degrees in Heidelberg. Chanel, how about you? And could you also let us know where all over in Central Europe how cold it is this week?
Absolutely. Actually, these past few days has been snowing, and I want to say it's my first experience living here with snow coming down. So that's absolutely beautiful, and I would say it's just about as cold as where you are, Alicia. But as for the other parts of Central Europe, Berlin is at -6 degrees Celsius, Amsterdam is at -1 degree Celsius, and Zurich is 0 degrees Celsius, and all around pretty cloudy. Zurich may have a bit of some snow flurries around, but chilly weather. Everyone stay safe. If you are listening while driving, please be careful. Watch out for ice on the road, and get home safely and enjoy the show, because our topic today will be a fun one. And a quick reminder on how you can listen in and share our show today. Make sure you go on YouTube at INCRadio DCEM 954 and click on the live now. Did I get everything, Alicia?
Yes, for sure. I am very excited actually for the topic for tonight. So for our topic tonight, which will also be the start of our icebreaker, is better swabs, better health. How to reduce sugar but keep the flavor. So of course we need one of our expert moms out there to help us with this. You already seen her last week. We have introduced her. She had great tips, of course, on how to make cute lunch boxes. Hopefully we can get a real life tutorial next time. But for us, we have Atajana back with us. Hi.
Hi everyone, it's nice to see you again and being part of this topic this week.
Thank you so much for being with us again. We're so excited to dive into more information than we discussed last time. And but first off, let's break the ice a little bit. Of course, we have to break the ice because it is icy cold. We couldn't open our car door this morning, so we had to really yank on it before it opened because it was ice cold. It was ice cold locked. So it's time to break the ice. Kuya Tech, can you show us our icebreaker game for tonight? So our icebreaker game is Guess the Sugar. So how it works is we have two options and we have to pick what is actually the correct answer to those two. So it's this or that. So Kuyete, can we have the first question? So guess the sugar. So first one, which has more sugar? Fruit, yogurt, 1 cup, or a chocolate bar? Chanel, Natajana, what do you think?
That's tricky. I need more details on each one.
Right? I mean, I feel like the 1 cup is bigger than a bar, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say fruit yogurt because it's bigger. And you
I'm
never
gonna
know.
fruit yogurt also.
Right? Okay.
I think fruit yogurt is a good answer. Kuyete, can we have the answer, please? It is fruit yogurt. That is correct. See, trust intuition. So Kuyete, can we have the next one? So which has more sugar? Orange juice, 1 glass, or cola, 1 glass? Okay, so this is more, okay, I think I have a good idea. The one is a juice and the other one is a soda or a soda drink. So, Atijana, Chanel.
If you're talking about added sugar, I'm saying cola.
I'm also saying cola only because my husband drinks soda and I want him to stop drinking soda.
They always say in the comment section that if you love your wives, stop drinking energy drink. But for Chanel, it's if you love your wife, stop drinking sodas. So shout out to Kuya Mark. Don't drink too much soda, please. Kuya Tech, can we have the answer to this question, please? It is yes, of course. I think that was an obvious one. Very good, very good. We have a good streak going. Kuya Tech, can we have the next one? So which has more sugar, granola or frosted breakfast cereal? Oh, I think I know this one. How about you guys?
Do you want to start? What do you think? Chanel?
Obviously, I'm gonna say the frosted cereal.
Yeah, frosted cereal.
Right, okay. I feel like
Yeah,
it's obvious.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious one. Kuyete, can we have the answer, please? It is it's granola. I thought it was gonna be frosted breakfast cereal.
Oh,
What a surprise! Okay,
You're
we have to look
wrong
into
for
that
one.
next time. Wow. Okay, granola. What a surprise.
We
Okay.
need more details with that.
But now we need a description on why. Well, we'll discuss that further. We'll do a little research for next week. Okay, Kuyete, can we have the next question, please? Smoothie bowl or ice cream, 1 scoop?
I love both.
They both taste good.
I'm gonna say
Like I
smoothie
said,
bowl.
smoothie bowl with the sugar. Okay, let's do the smoothie bowl because there is sugar.
True. It depends. What are the ingredients in
Yeah,
this smoothie
right.
bowl?
Well, because is it healthy sugars that are in there, or because the ice cream, I would totally think that there would be added sugar in the ice cream.
Yeah, for sure. I think unless there's granola in the smoothie bowl, that has more sugar. So
Yeah.
who knows what's in there? What are the toppings as well? So let's go. So I think we'll all pick smoothie bowl. Let's see. Kuya Tech, what is the answer? It is smoothie bowl. Okay, so we were right on that one. I think the granola stumped us. That's why. But for the last and final question, hopefully we get a good one. At least 4 out of 5 maybe. So Kuya Tech, can we have the next one? It is dried fruit, small handful, or gummy candies. Okay, I'll let you guys think about it for a bit. I'm gonna check what the live chat is thinking.
I'm going to say it's the dried fruit because I feel like I read somewhere that they said it was dried fruit.
Yes,
What do
I
you
agree. Dried fruit.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you and I are on the same page right now, John, especially with the topic that we're going to discuss today. It was so interesting. So, Alicia, what do our live chat say?
Ooh, our live chat is saying gummy candies. So I think it's an obvious one, I think. But yeah, the live chat is also saying Gummy candies. Oh, I see dried fruit. Someone said dried fruit. Hashtag Munich. Okay. So it's a little bit split. I see gummy candies and dried food. Dried fruit. Not dried food. Dried fruit. So Kwiatek, can we have the answer to our final question? Dried fruit, small handful. Very good, very good. So it was split. I saw one person say dried fruit. So very good, live chat. Very good. Thank you so much for participating in our icebreaker. But of course, as our icebreaker already told us, and of course, as we already hinted at it, our topic for today is about, as much as possible, reducing sugar. I myself am trying to reduce sugar in my baking as well. I am a baker, and of course, sugar is one of the number one things I use in my baking. But I myself am trying to reduce sugar as much as possible, just because I know I love sharing my baking. I myself, when I bake, I usually don't eat it myself. I usually bake for other people. So when it comes to baking, I of course love to have into perspective who I'm feeding, of course. So some of us have allergies. Others want to, of course, reduce sugar due to their blood pressure or blood sugar, right? So it is also important to know a little healthier alternatives and substitutes to sugar in general, which is I'm very excited to learn about from you both, and also from Atijana, of course, on how we can substitute and what are great ways to keep also our health in check, because that is an important part of it. Of course, if we want to stay healthy and grow older, of course, it is very important to always keep our health in check, especially when it comes to what we eat and what we consume, of course, in consume in our daily eating habits, of course, as well. So, Atijana, I'd like to ask you first. How do you, or why does sugar in general enhance flavor? Or what can we do to generally what are ways that we can enhance our food besides sugar? Of course, can you also go into detail on how you started your no sugar journey?
Yeah. So my background, I just wanted to say that my background is not medically professional, but I am a mom of 3 boys who experienced years and years, the early years in their lives being sick all the time, hospitalized, and we couldn't figure out what it was that they were getting sick from until, my husband and I did a deep dive in figuring out ways to strengthen their immune system, because the medications that were given to them, it worked and then it stopped. And we didn't want to continue on with that and give them stronger medications that might affect them later on in the future. So we opted for more natural or alternatives, just like the sugars that we're about to talk about. So we learned to decrease their toxic load. And that just means it's not only the food that we're ingesting into our bodies, but it's also our environmental toxic loads from like the pollution inside your home and outside of our homes, as well as things that we put on our bodies, like the skincare that we use on our bodies. And also, that we're in an advanced generation where there's a lot of technology, so electronics, right? What we call EMFs, like electromagnetic fields, that we're surrounded with compared to in the past. So all of that increases our toxic load. And so when my husband and I were learning about all of this stuff, we decided, okay, let's try to decrease our children's toxic load, because obviously they're getting sick and we want them to be in their optimal health. So the thing that we could control in our home was the food that they take in, because food food is medicine also. So we did that. Then we saw a drastic change in their health. So, and a big part of it was lessening their sugars, the sugars that they eat. So, and they creep up. Sugars creep up in different things, in different places in your food, and we don't know about it until we realize. We look into the labels. We see we see the percentages of how much, or grams, how much of the sugar is in the food, and then the servings, and then you figure out, oh, they had a lot of sugar today without even us knowing. So it's very important that we as their parents figure out or find out what they're putting in their bodies.
It's actually just like the granola.
Wow.
How we didn't think there was a lot of sugar, but actually that was the one thing we got wrong in the ice cream.
Yeah. You look into the labels of granola and you see 25 grams of sugar, which I found out that I read that 25 grams of sugar should be an adult's daily limit. That's what I read.
Wow.
So we try to lower that. But anyways, yeah, like granola. And that's why I was asking, I need more detail. Like, was it homemade granola? Because you could control the sugar with homemade granola.
That's true, but I think that's why we have this topic, so we can make it ourselves a more healthier version than the ones we see on stores or the ones that are around us. And I love that you brought up toxic load. I think that word already sounds alarming, but it really brings attention to how much we consume in our bodies. And for us, taking care of our bodies is so important for us to do everything that we need to do, hence health as well, right? And having the awareness that there's so many toxic things in our environment, specifically for today's topic, in our food even, I think all of us need to be careful in what we're eating. So starting off with a lot of your tips, Jonna, I think we're definitely going to listen, and can't wait. As for me, some of the things you said with what you experienced with your kids, it kind of resonated with me personally, because, you as a mom, you were there to protect and defend your children. And that is so amazing. And I think more parents, especially those who are starting out, need to be aware of that. But for my experience, I kind of had to figure out on my own how to better take care of my health, my body, especially because a few years ago, I think this was during COVID actually, my sister noticed that I gained a lot of weight and I was just having these super exhausted symptoms. Even though I had like 8 hours of sleep, I was still exhausted. And it's just, there was just a change in me that I didn't notice, and my sister brought up, and she said, I think you need to get checked to the doctor because I think you might have PCOS. And PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, which pretty much gives me hormonal issues. And I had to do a lot of research for what does that mean for my hormones. And I think it's quite similar to what people with diabetes may experience. And in my case, my trigger was insulin resistance. And insulin is a hormone that helps you process the sugar in your body and turn it to energy. And because my insulin was not doing a great job of turning my sugars into energy, I was tired all the time, and I ate so much sugar to get that energy, but it kind of does not work right. So that's why I had to figure out what's a more organic, healthier way for me to eat so that my body can better process that sugar and turn it to energy, so that I don't have to eat bad sugar and instead eat more natural sugars, right? And for Jonna, I kind of want to ask you, do you bake often for your kids now that, you've been trying to find healthier alternatives, or you've been?
Yes, I do bake often. The kids love it. They help me with the baking, but yeah, we bake and we add the natural sugars in it. So
Give us your tips. Give us some tips of the things that you've baked and what were alternatives you've made.
I think it's a positive thing. I have to say, because using natural sugars other than the granulated processed sugar, my reasoning for not using that in the first place is because it gets messy. I don't want the granulated sugars on my kitchen floor, and whatever will ants and stuff like that. So that was like a positive thing to use alternative means of sugar. So what we mostly use is raw honey. That my kids love the taste of it, but also we've used maple syrup, pure maple syrup. There's also molasses. We haven't tried that one yet, but they do have molasses, which is also an alternative, a natural alternative, and fruit juices, or just adding, real fruit inside your baking. It will give it that sweetness, the same sweetness as if you used, processed sugar.
And none of that compromises the sweetness of it, or none of that compromises any of the
No, I would say it actually gives it a more stronger sweet taste. And also, through this journey, I learned that natural sugars, unlike processed sugars, you can take in more because the sugars from the natural, say from the fruits that we eat, your body can recognize it better than processed sugar. So your body knows where to put it in your body and how to regulate it in your body. And it regulates slower than if you take processed sugar in, and that's how you get like that spike of energy and then that crash. So if you want like a steady, moderate energy throughout the day, fruits, honey, anything like that, natural sugar is the way to go.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, because I just remembered some of the diet changes I had to make. And one of the biggest changes I made was really changing my breakfast. So ironically, you would think that I would eat less, I would have to eat less so that, I could properly, process the sugars that I'm consuming. However, with some help that I got to figure out like what's the best way for me to eat, I ended up eating more without having to consume so much sugar. And one of the big things that helped me was bananas. Actually, like just one banana makes me feel so full. Like I don't just eat the banana, but adding the banana to my usual breakfast already makes me feel so full, and I get my natural sugars, and I also have some fiber in there as well. So that is always good. And bananas are the best additional sweeteners to me personally. What about you? What was your favorite sweetener?
I agree. The banana, and also apples. Apples gives, the apples. I put apples in my children's oatmeal. And dates. Honestly, dates is given a bad rap. Dates are usually not, something people talk about, but dates is the perfect sweetness to, even just anything. Baking, your breakfast, your oatmeals. Yeah.
I have heard of a recipe that has dates, which is like the near perfect alternative to another chocolatey peanut butter snack. I don't know if you tried that before. Have you tried doing that with dates?
I would guess, yeah. You would put dates in when you're making brownies. Have you tried it?
No,
so when you're
I
making
love brownies. I didn't know that.
And,
would you put the whole fruit in, or do you have to like grind it or smash it? Or
you can just smash the dates, or even cut pieces, the dates in little pieces, and then throw it in with a little bit of flour and cocoa powder and banana and egg yolk, and then just one egg, and then you mix it all up and bake it, and it'll be a fluffy brownie with natural sugar, dates, and banana.
Since this sounds like a dish you already made, do you know already how much sugar you cut out just from making that, that specific brownie dish compared to getting a brownie outside?
Oh, a lot. And like what I said, like you won't have that crash. It actually, because of the cocoa powder in the brownie, it'll give you energy because cocoa chocolate gives you energy throughout the day. And some people think that chocolate is bad for you, but if you add the raw cocoa, dark chocolate people talk about is good for you. And so it's an acquired taste, but if we give it early for our kids, or if we continue eating it, you add a little bit of honey with it, and it gives it a sweet taste with the benefits of dark chocolate.
So to kind of sum up for our listeners, some of the alternatives you suggest using in baking or cooking without compromising the sweetness is raw honey, some fruits, specifically bananas and apples, dates. Anything else I'm missing?
Pure maple syrup.
Pure maple syrup.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our listeners and viewers, make sure you make a list of these alternative healthy sugars to your list, so that once you start baking or making your own sweet treats, I am a victim of needing a sweet treat after every meal because I love snacking. So I think this would help me a whole bunch with getting full and also getting energy at the same time. And speaking of sweet treats, Alicia's cheesecake, I still have not forgotten about it to this day. I dream about it. It's so delicious. I love it. However, I don't think this fits with the the low sugar thing, but Alicia, you are a prominent baker, and I think what you said about not eating your batches all the time is a good idea, because I learned that the hard way the first time I started baking. I kept eating my own batches instead of sharing it with people. I want to ask you for your advice, Alicia, if you had any alternatives you had to do for your baking to whenever you share with friends or people, especially those who might have allergies or more sensitive to certain ingredients.
Yes, so for sure the cheesecake is, I will say the cheesecake I made last time, that is one of the healthier desserts I've made. Generally cheesecake, usually there are a lot of no-bake versions, but I like doing the baked version, so that one was baked for sure. Just because when I do the no-bake version, I always have to add powdered sugar just to keep the structure of the cheesecake. So I haven't found a recipe, a no-bake cheesecake recipe that I've loved, because I may have a sweet tooth, but not that much that I don't love it too sweet. So as all those in the hashtag Heidelberg cluster know that I've been baking so much these past weeks, also because we have had a lot of birthdays, but I'm always trying to tweak my recipes so that I have to add less sugar, or if I can substitute with something else, but still keeping the consistency and the structure of whatever I'm making. So generally, as you said, we have also a lot of people who have allergies, right? So one common thing that I like to switch out sometimes, especially when I know it's for a birthday boy or birthday girl who I know has a certain allergy, is, for example, nuts. That is the most common allergy that I know of, that all of our kids also have. So what I like to switch out is I love to make banana bread. That is also one of my healthier baking goods. Don't saliva too much. Don't worry, I'll make some for you next time. But for my banana bread, usually you can put a lot of different toppings into it. But usually the most common is chocolate chips or nuts, walnuts. I just keep the walnuts completely, or nuts in general, out of the question, just because I know the kids just see a sweet and then they just grab into it without second thought, and I'm like, no, wait, there's nuts in there. So I like to keep nuts completely out of my baking, just because there's always one or two people who could not be able to eat it, and I would feel bad. So I try to keep nuts completely out of my baking, just because I want everyone to enjoy whatever I'm making. And then just like Atajana said as well, we have so many who are also lactose intolerant. So I like to switch out regular milk for either what was the last time that I used? I think it was forget. I forget what milk it was. Definitely a substitute for I think it was almond milk or something, or other substitutes. I've used something else besides almond milk, but I can't think of it right now. But for sure, nuts is the one thing I avoid, as well as what I like to switch out as well is for those who are lactose intolerant also, who cannot have milk or any dairy products in my baking, which is also one of the number one things you use in your baking, which is a lot of dairy products. So that's one of the few things. But for me, I love experimenting. That's for me. I don't bake just of course for my pleasure as well, but for just experimenting and finding different ways to cut the ingredients that are maybe not too healthy, in of course in moderation, of course, and then of course also so that we can so it still tastes good, so we can keep a little bit of the sweet flavor, but not too much that it's too overpowering or a little too grainy, because sometimes sugar also has that effect, right? That it if you add too much, has it hurts, but it's like also grainy. It's not the good kind of sweet anymore, right? So I can for sure say Atijana's brownies, I've had them. They're really good. They were really, really good. So she has to make them next time. I'm craving brownies now. But
Yeah, they're guilt-free brownies.
they're guilt-free brownies, exactly. You feel less guilty. Like when we first tried it, I was like, oh, who made brownies? And then I tried them. I was like, oh wow, these are really good. And then as soon as I found out Atijana made them, I'm like, yes, tell me what you what you put in here. So it was really, I felt less guilty eating it for sure, and it's a great way to start the new year feeling less guilty eating those brownies. But yeah, for sure, those are one of my things that I use in my baking.
I think it's so funny that our topic is about how can we ourselves make better swats, when really you both, through your baking, you're already swapping for us, with the people you're sharing. So like really you're kind of training us to enjoy like non-processed sugared desserts or treats, and I love that because it's so like, like you don't have to tell anybody, they just have to try it for themselves, and already they have a whole new world of flavor, of health to to learn about just by trying your shared desserts. And it's also another way that you guys show love too, and it's really sweet, pun intended. And actually I wanted to know a little bit more about Jana, because I know we talked about your backstory on your kids and how you guys figured out what it was that was making them sick.
Yes. So background, backtrack to when they were sick. We were at our wits' end. We didn't know. My husband and I, we didn't know why they were getting sick all the time. And so we called on the elders of our church, who we invited to our home to pray for our children and their health, and to just pray to God to guide us in the right direction in helping us heal our children, because it was a very stressful time for us. And we just, we said everything, all we did was pray and seek God's guidance. And he led us to a doctor who, previous doctors were telling us, here's more medication. Medications need to be stronger. Let's give them a stronger medication, which we didn't want. Our children's sicknesses were, I would say, chronic: asthma, eczema. They would always have fevers. My oldest would be missing school half the school year, and we knew something was not right when so many other children were happy and healthy, and my two older kids were just sickly. And so we went to the doctor, another doctor, and he said, let's test for allergies. And we're like, oh, we could do that? Like, okay, yeah. And sure enough, they were allergic to certain things, types of food. And we're like, oh my gosh. This was God's way of guiding us to the right direction. And we're so thankful that he led us to this doctor, to these, for us seeking alternatives, more natural alternatives that we believe wouldn't hurt us, because we've gone through, the other opposite end and it wasn't working. So we changed their diet. And now it's been almost 10 years. No, 9. Yeah, 8 or 9 years. And we never looked back. This was our journey and we continue to stick to it. And with our boys, I think because they went through all of that, they now know, like, hey, I don't want to be sick again. I don't want to go back to that. Okay, yeah, I that's why they're very good at choosing what types of food is good for them, because they know what it feels like to be sick all the time. And with the grace of God, they're happy and healthy.
That's very beautiful to hear, to see how much, like, you wouldn't think that it's such a big change, but it is, especially when it comes to taking care of your kids. And I know you told me this earlier, but your children were also lactose intolerant. Can you tell us about that little finding you had with milk and your children's health, the relationship with milk?
Yes. So yeah, our elder, the elder of our church who came to our house to pray for our family, for our kids, she always saw them sick, and she said, are they drinking milk? And I said, yeah, they love milk. She said, stop it. And I said, what? Why would they love milk? I don't know how we're gonna stop it. She was not in the medical field, but she has a lot of grandkids, and it was just experience with her. And so we thought, okay, let's try it. Somebody who had another perspective, and we were open to trying it, led us to, realize, okay, let's just try it. This was before we figured out from the doctor that they were lactose intolerant. She said before that, she was the one who said, stop it. And so we stopped it for a month, and their eczema was gone, almost gone, and their coughing, their coughing was gone, their asthma. And then when we went to the doctor, he confirmed it, that they were lactose intolerant. So yeah, God gives us people in our lives for a reason, and I feel like she was God sent. God sent us to her, and we're grateful for the elders of our church who are always taking care of us. So yeah. And
what was the alternative to milk that you had for your kids?
Yes. It was funny thing is, our kids can tolerate the raw milk here in Germany, but yeah, we're still trying to figure out how is that possible. But it all I know is that the raw milk here in Germany, it nourishes the gut in a way that processed milk or the other types of milk does. So that works for them, and they're fine with the raw milk here. But when they were little and we had to find an alternative for the milk, we did organic soy milk, and we did almond milk, and we did coconut milk, and they thrived on that too. So I don't know if anyone who has children who has intolerance of milk or milk allergies, if they have any alternatives as well.
Yeah, and I have two more questions for you, because unfortunately the time is going by so quickly. One, because Germany is known for not only their meats but their breads. Big bread eater. Do you have any alternatives, healthy alternatives for those who love to eat bread but are sensitive to it?
Okay, surprisingly again, German bread, European bread is way different than, American bread or bread made in the United States. From what I know is that the bread here in Germany is, correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments, but it's you, or even Sister or Alicia. The bread is different because, especially the way that it's made, I think they use more of the ancient grains here in Germany, where it has more fiber, less sugar, and especially like their sourdough is also different. So there's apparently, less sugar and less added ingredients that you can't even read. It's very natural ingredients that you could actually read and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what that is. And it's whole foods, not processed, not super processed. So now our guts, from what I know, is that our guts can tolerate that type of bread rather than the bread that is highly processed with like enriched flour. That's what it is. When you see enriched flour, that means that it's been processed. So German bread and bread made in Europe is made differently.
That is good to know. And watching the language on the things you purchase, like it's the same thing for eggs, for example, right? Like cage-free is different from free range, and we really have to do our research on what those technical terms means in order to take care of our health. And so I want to ask you your last question, especially as a mother. When you decided to when you and your husband decided to make that change, that those healthy swaps for your family, what can you say to encourage other family members or other people who want to make the change but are intimidated?
I just say for the families who want to make that change, start little. It is intimidating. It is, because you're run down. Our motivation was to make our kids healthy again, to lessen their toxic load. If you have like a goal in mind or something that you feel passionate about that you want to change within your family, I would suggest to start slow. We started slow. We thought, we could have gone big and say like, get rid of this, get rid of that. It's just too much. Just focus on one thing. And the one thing that we decided to change was what we were putting inside our bodies. That's a direct, it gives a direct effect on our health. So we started off with the food that we ate. So start off small. If that means cutting out sugar, cut out sugar for breakfast, and utilize the natural ingredients or the natural sugars that we talked about here in this in this segment. Opt for giving your kids apples and bananas in the morning with their oatmeal. The variety, the colorfulness of their oatmeal will hopefully entice them to eat it, because it'll benefit them and give them the energy they need, or that you need also in throughout the day. So just start small and then work your way up to other things like what you would put in your lunch or dinner, or even the snacks. So you could even start off small with just the snacks, um, and reading the labels when you go the grocery store, and really taking that one extra step. You look at the food at the grocery store, you see the label, notice the added sugars on the label, and then decide, would my kids benefit from this? Would we benefit from this, or not? You know, it's everyone's journey. It's a different journey for everyone.
Thank you, Jana, for your advice and sharing your story, your almost decade of healthy food swapping. And I'm sure all of us have learned a lot from it. Quickly, I'm going to share some of the comments who have also given some of their advice. Let's see. Henley C says, eat in moderation, balance, and do sports, which they all go hand in hand. Lucy Tiamangiat says, dark chocolates with almond is my sweet tooth craving. Mine as well. And Irene Juliet Calvello says, I bake my brownies with avocado, which I have heard of as well. And I know already that's more delicious. Alicia, do you have any other shout outs to read? Or if not, we can go to our favorite segment.
Yes, before I know we want to go to our next segment already, but I love to read all our comments. We have so many tuning in right now. Shout out to the D Twins, New Year, better health, watching Paul from Frankfurt City. Thank you so much, Frankfurt City, for joining. I see so many from Frankfurt as well. From Kalus, yes, eating healthy food is a habit. Parents should teach their children and be good role model. Hashtag Zurich. Kalinda Cavello, the best swap is cooking at home or eating fresh prepared food. Hashtag Berlin. I can't keep up. Sister Nanette, she's replying to Brother Henry. Instead of sugar, we can use honey po. And the comment section is going so fast I cannot keep track. But one more is from Sister Rowena. Dark chocolate is much better. Hashtag Zurich. I agree. I love dark chocolate. I use it. I do not use milk chocolate anymore. It's not just healthier, but it is also a lot less sweeter and a lot tastier, in my opinion. So comment if you're team dark chocolate as well in the live chat. But without further ado, let's go to our favorite segment, German is Fun, with Miss Malou. Viel Spaß!
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Hello everyone. Hallo zusammen. Welcome to German is Fun. Willkommen zu Deutsch macht Spaß. I'm Malou Francisco, and as usual, together we'll be learning some German words and expressions. So, let's have fun!
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
For today, we'll be learning some German words and expressions related to healthy eating. We're talking about eating less sugar. The title of our lesson, Eat Less Sugar. Auf Deutsch ist weniger Zucker. Ist weniger Zucker is eat less sugar. Our first word for today, sugar, in German, auf Deutsch, der Zucker. Zucker. Our next word, sweet. Sweet. Auf Deutsch, süß. Süß. By the way, that letter, which looks like a B, it's not a B. It actually stands for two S's. Our next word, we have the English word sweets. Sweets. referring to different kinds of food that are sweet, which means they contain a lot of sugar. In German, die Süßigkeit, plural, die Süßigkeiten. 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 It's more common to use Süßigkeiten.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Hi, are you ready for some example sentences? Let's practice. If you want to say, I eat less sugar. Ich esse weniger Zucker. Ich esse weniger Zucker. Ich esse weniger Zucker. Oh, by the way, my parents eat less sweets. Meine Eltern essen weniger Süßigkeiten. Meine Eltern essen weniger Süßigkeiten. Meine Eltern essen weniger Süßigkeiten. My brother eats less sweets. Mein Bruder isst weniger Süßigkeiten. Congratulations, dear brother. Keep it up. Let's say that again. Mein Bruder isst weniger Süßigkeiten. There you go. Some sentences for you to practice and just have fun.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
And now it's time for our Wiederholung. It's time for a review of the words and expressions we learned today. Listen and repeat after me. Eat less sugar. Auf Deutsch ist
Sadly, our German is fun is cut short, but don't worry, we will have that same episode next week so we can learn more on our German is fun. Claytech is trying to tease us. That's why he wants us to all tune in next week for our broadcast. So make sure to stay tuned next week to see the full German is Fun episode. So you won't miss out on your Miss Malou German lessons. But of course, before we go on to our next segment, I want to shout out all our Team Dark Chocolate people who commented. Shout out to Sister Annalyn Newman, Sister Irene Cavello, Sister Luz, Kajeri, Sister Lucy Mangiat, Brother Mark Hennig, and Kajoji for all being dark chocolate. And also, shout out to Brother AJ from #Dortmund for being just Team Chocolate. And I see also from Brother Justin Washaw and Sister Selinka Alam, they're Team White Chocolate. I don't know if I should be offended. I'm just kidding. I'm not offended. But yeah, Team White Chocolate is also really good, but still Team Dark Chocolate. So shout out to all my Team Dark Chocolate members. But before we go on to our next segment, before we'll give Queen Tech a little bit more time to prepare. Sister Chanel, can you tell us what did you learn from what we saw already from our German is Fun?
Ja, ich esse weniger Zucker. Ich muss.
I love that you added ich muss. Ich muss.
Muss.
Really great pronunciation. Atajana, do you want to give it a try too?
No. Let me try it. I need to read it. I know the word Zucker.
Yes. Yeah.
Ich essen Zucker.
Very good. That means I eat sugar. Or no, but that's the opposite of what you actually told us this whole podcast. Don't worry, people. You just have to
Natural
add
sugar.
natural sugar. Or you can say vinegar, which is less sugar. So that's the vinegar suka. So hopefully Kuya Tech is ready for us now to go on to our next segment, the segment we know we have all been waiting for, our favorite segment, our winners of top 3 clusters. So let's see. Kuya Tech enjoys our winners.
Third place, Berlin Cluster. Second place, Heidelberg Cluster. First place, Bayern Cluster.
Congrats to all of our winners. I am so surprised by the results for this week. So a round of applause for everyone. Very good. So congratulations to the Bayern cluster or the Munich cluster. I already noticed you were all very active last week. The comments I was already getting cross-eyed from all the comments that were running. But I saw a lot of hashtag Munich. So thank you all for supporting and of course supporting tonight as well. I am very curious to see who are the winners for next week as well. So shout out to also second place, Heidelberg. I am so proud. Very good, Heidelberg. And also, of course, we can't knock off Berlin from the top 3. Of course, they are number 3. So congrats, Berlin. Thank you so much for joining us last week and also this week. Of course, we are ending our time. Time is running out. But first, before we all leave, Chanel, who are our top 3 chatters from last week?
Yes, our top 3 chatters seem to be in one family, but we'll start from third place is Alicia Bartolome, our very own. Second place is Henry Inocencio. And first place is Jerry Bartolome. So congratulations to our top 3 chatters. Keep it up. And if you want to be the next top 3 chatter, make sure you chat it up.
Thank you so much. I am actually surprised that I was number 3. I did not expect that. So thank you all for supporting. I am definitely not top 3 for next week. So make sure, I'm very excited to see who our top 3 chatters is. Every time, it's usually always the same people, but this time it's always different people. So I'm always very excited to see who our top 3 chatters and top 3 clusters are for every following week. But before we go on to our closing, I want to give the riddle for next week's broadcast. I hope everyone is very excited. I am certainly hungry when I think about it. But our riddle is: a tower of flavor, turning slow, fire-kissed slices falling low. In bread I travel, warm and neat. Name the spinning savory treat. So it is a treat. It's savory, not sweet this time. It's savory, but still can be eaten healthy, as according to our theme of the month, which is a little bit of less sugar and more health this new year. So make sure to comment your guesses, and I can already say now you can be very excited. It is including one of your favorite top 3 clusters. And of course, we will have a live audience next week with one of your favorite hosts. So make sure to stay tuned, and we hope you all guess right in the comment section. Chanel, you can take it away.
Yes, let's stay connected and inspired. See you all next week, same time, same place. Thank you for watching INCRadio Central Europe.